Hello, 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 and welcome back to another Latin stream. We did Greek last time, we're doing Latin today. We did Latin, I think 2 weeks ago, and we're doing it again. We've got the same setup as we had last time. I think the joke was hilarious, so why not doing it again? And yeah, let's see how it goes. See how it goes. I hope it goes well. Last time I was really tired, and today I'm also really tired. So we're being consistent there. Let's head over to our screen and give me a moment to set up all my things so they're in the right places. There we go. That's right. Now this here is a part of the Aeneid of Virgil, but it's simplified. It's simplified. It's not word for word exactly what he wrote. It's made easier so we can learn the language easier. One moment, I've got this big screen in my face. Can I actually turn this to dark mode? I'm gonna. No, I went off the page. Whatever. We'll live. I've just got a dark, big white thing on my face. Let's do that again. But let's go into it, and that'll ease the nervousness. Italiae in Colle Prime Aborigines. In Colle, does that mean referring to some sort of landmass like an island or is it all saying it was these are like the indigenous population? Let's find out. In Colle. Inhabitants. Okay. In Colle, inhabitants. We're off to a bad start. Italia in Colle Primi Aborigines fuerant quorum rex Saturnis tanta justitia fuesse digitor ut nec servivet quisquam sub illo nec quidem sum proprium haberet. Give me a moment to wake up. I have no idea what I've read. I know we've got Rex Saturnus, King Saturn. Are we talking about Kronos here? And something I assume means justice. But let's have a look. Justice. Yes, righteous, close enough. Ut nec serviet quisquam sub illo nec quidem sum proprium prium haberat. Lots of prepositions there that are hard to put together. Let me drink some water. I think we'll just sort of we'll go through it and see if we can pick ourselves up as we go along. Ob memoriam Ilias aetatis aureae. I think this means golden age. Aetatis I think means age. It does. Aetatis aureae. And I think it's saying they refer to this era as the Golden Age. Right, let's see. Ob memoriam. For memory. Ilius aetatis aureae. Yes, the memory of this Golden Age. Que vocata mos. Is this custom? Is this customs? It is customs. There's that old saying. How does it go? Like o mores or something. O temporis, o mores. O the times, o the customs or habits or something. Mos Romanorum est ut mense decembri deebus festas qui decunta Saturnalia serve in convivis cum dominis discumbant. Talking about the festival of Saturnalia here, but I'm not sure why. I know it obviously has something to do with Saturn, but I suppose it's in memory. Here we go. In memory of that golden age, when Kronos reigned before Zeus. They remember this with Saturnalia. Interesting. I assume the mythology for Saturn is identical to Kronos. Or if it's not, it's been ported over, which would mean he's in hell right now. He's not liked. He was He was dethroned by Jupiter. But correct me if I'm wrong. I know that's how... I know Kronos was dethroned by Zeus. Was Saturn dethroned by Jupiter? You see, there's synchronicity between the Greek and Roman gods. They're sort of, and we view them mostly as just different names for the same god. And it is mostly that, but they are technically different. I believe they have the same origin, hence why they both have Apollo, and he's just Apollo, and generally they are the same gods with different names. But for probably over 1,000 years, maybe many thousands of years, they evolved. Not evolved. They prospered in separate communities. And so where the Athenians and the Greeks and all that, they had their Greek gods, the Romans all the way over in Italy had their Roman gods, which came from the same source, but they diverged and then later converged back. But this does mean that there are subtle differences that sometimes appear. Ut mense decembri dies diebus festis qui dicuntur Saturnalia. Now I get that, it's cool, it's festival, it's in December, it's called Saturnalia. But what's this second part here? Serve in convivis condominis discumbans. Is this referring to the slaves here? Let's see. Serve in convivis. They feast with the servants all as one. Is that what it's saying? I think it is. And what does discumbent mean? It's difficult to read this because it blocks my view. Yes, I think that is indeed it. In fact, maybe I should move this whole thing out of the way so I can always see it. No, I can't read it then. Oh, no, it doesn't work at all. I really wish I had more than one monitor, but well, we'll have to live. Post-hunk, Picus. I think they're talking about, it's a proper noun, so it must be a name of something. Is it a god? Is it a person? Post-hunk Picus deiendi faunus in Latio regnavit. I think they're talking about, in Latio regnavit, I think they're talking about the king gods that ruled there. Faunus is a god. I don't think Faunus ruled as a god. Unless it's a different Faunus. Eo tempore eunda, Mercuri et Carmentis filius. Okay, we're talking about gods here. We're still in the realm of gods. Profungus. That's not the right word. Did I spell it right? Profungus. Profugus. Ah, I see. I see. They migrated from Arcadia, which is somewhere. Regione Peloponnese media. Ah, there we go. We've got our answer. It's in the middle of the Peloponnese. In Italiam venit cum parva manu Graecorum. Manu. A few arms. I think they're speaking of arms here. Manu means hand, but I think they're using it as armatorum. Yes, weapons. They're arms. They came to Italy with a... I don't think small army is the right word, but they came armed. Slightly armed. Qui faunus rex benignus montem quem ille postea palatium appellavit. Et Arva Colenda dedit. Arva Colenda. Does Colenda mean hill? Colenda. Cultivated. I see. I thought Arva meant altar. No, it means fields. There's a similar word. That is altar. Altar is ara. Yes, ara, not Arva. Fauno mortuo. Latinus filius eius. Regnum accepit. Huius filius in prima juventute perit. In prima juventute. I think, does that mean like they're young, like a juvenile. And then perit, I think, means they were killed. Have I read that right? Regnum acebit, huius filius, in prima, in the beginning, in prima, juventute, in early youth, in prima juvente, they're the same part. He died in early youth. Perhaps it was child mortality. Sola in regia erat. Filia nomini Lavinia, jam matura viro. He is who is now a man. Illum multi viri, e latio totaque Italio petabant. Ante omnis turnus rex rutulorum. I think that's a clan, the Rutuli clan or something. Okay, you know, we're doing a lot better now. The first sentence in this chapter was completely incomprehensible, but we're doing a lot better now. These are very easy sentences for me. Equus Troianus. Dum Latinus in Italia in pace diuturna regna. Diuturna. What does diuturna mean? I've heard it before. I think I've heard it in the Bible before. Long lasting. Definitely heard that in the Bible before. Troia seu Ilium. Troia seu Ilium. Is this the Trojans of Rome? The Trojans of Troy? Ilium is another word for Troy. But what is seu? Seu, doesn't that mean like thou thyself? Or, oh, it means or. I've never seen that word for or before. I know or as out or autem, but I've not seen seu before. Troia, seu Ilium, clarissima Aesiae, herbs. Post bellum decum annorum tandem e Graecis capta est. After a war that lasted 10 years, the Greeks captured Troy. Graeci enim cum urbum vi expugnare non possent. Graeci enim cum urbum. Is that a number? Do we have a number here? V? Or are they? Or does this mean? I don't think this means 6. I think it means sort of strength, like vis. Expugnare non possent. Dolo usi sunt. Dolo means hurt. They are hurt, but what does usi mean? I've forgotten this one. Usi. Used? I only get used out of this, but it could be a different word. I may not know that one. Equum ingentum ligno fabricaverant, eumque militibus armatis compleverant. They create a horse out of wood. Ligno is wood, and they created it. Fabricaverant. Eumque militibus armatis compleverant, and they hid military soldiers inside it. Quibus praefecti erant Ulixes et words split in two here. I always struggle with words split in two. Pyrrhus. Ulixes. That's not Ulysses, is it? It was Ulysses who came up with the plan. Was Pyrrhus part of the plan? I thought it was entirely the scheme of Odysseus. Ulysses, rather. Same person. Achilles Philius, the son of Achilles. Equo ligneo in litore. Litore, I think, does that mean entrance? I think that means sort of like an entrance area. On the beach. On the beach. Relicto, they relinquished it. They left it on the beach. Ceteri Graece celeritur in insulam propinquam qui nomen est tenedos profecti sunt ibique latuerant. I can't figure this one out. Ceteri means others, the other Greeks, but what does celeritur mean? It's a different word. And I've heard it before, but I've forgotten it. Quickly. In insulem propinquam, I think propinquam means nearby. Propinquam. It does mean nearby, I got that right. Qui nomen est tenedos. Profecti sunt ibeque latuerant. Does latuerant mean they waited there? Latuerant? Hidden, I see. What about profecti then? Set out, sunt ibeque latuerant. The remaining Greeks hurry to a nearby island called Tenedos. There they were hidden. Troiani vero. Vero, I thought vero means certainly. Let's have a look. Vero. Indeed, certainly, indeed. I was right. Troiani, vero, cum Grecos Argos. What's Argos referring to him? Urbs Peloponnese. They use a word here in the Iliad. Not the Argonians, the Argonauts. There's a name, but the for what they are, I've forgotten what they are, but they're the Greek forces, I'm pretty sure. Cum Grecos Argos in patriam suo avectos esse arbitrarento. I think they're avectos. Adverhe. That means drag, does it? Avectos? Transported, close enough. I think that does come from sort of drag to them. Esse arbitrarento. Troiani. With the Greeks in patrium suum, in their homeland, is that what it means? In patrium suam? Or they've gone... They've used the word in here. They haven't... Let's see what this arbitrarenter... Oh, they would think. I thought this was a different word. They think they've gone home. Okay, that's what it means. They think they've gone home, but I can't quite figure out the proper wording of it. Tum demum post tot annos portas apparerant atque exire ausi sunt. Ausi? Ausi means dare, I think. Ausi. Yes, dare. And they dared to exit. The word exire here is written as an infinitive, meaning it is to exit. And at last, the Greeks have left. They opened their gates finally, and they were able to exit their walls or exit their gates. They use the word portas here. Sine cura sub altis muris ambulabant atque castra Graecorum deserta inspicierbant. Without a care, they leave their walls, they walk around the bottom of their walls, and they go towards the Greek. They use the word castra here, probably where we get the word castle from, but it's it's like a military camp. It's a military camp. They go to the Greek camp and they see that it is deserted. It's said, ubi primum equum ligneum in Lotori, collocatum viderunt. I think, what does collocatum mean? It either means they all, or referring to hills. Collocatum. Placed. I got it wrong completely. But the Greek camp is totally deserted, except for this single wooden horse on the beach that has been left there. Stupentes constituerant et molum equi mirabantur. Mirabantur, I think, means amazed. Mirabantur. Yes, they were amazed, or they were surprised. Mollem. Mass. They were amazed at its mass and its size. Ale eum ut donum Minervae. Ali eum ut donum Minerva. I know that the horse is dedicated to Athena, in this case Minerva. Dei Troianis benigni. Sacratum intramures duci et in arce locale iuebant. They take the horse into their walls, and they put it on an arche, which either means I think that means like I'm trying. Sorry, this is me trying to think of two languages at once. The Ara, whatever Ara means in English. The holy place, the thing, the shrine thing. Altar, that's it. Altar. I think it means arche. Castle. Never mind. Fuck. Locari Uevans. Ale donum. What does donum mean? Donum. This means donations, right? Gift, yes. Ali donum Grecorum suspectum in mare praecipitandum et flammis urendum esse genserans. Some people say they should burn this horse down. This is not good to have. It's a trick by the Greeks. Ale interiorum eque partum inspicere volabant. They want to check inside it. Itadum populus incurtus in contrarias in contrarias sentias dividitor laucun Neptuni sacerdos ab summa arche de currens gives suos monuit ne denes confiderant. The Danae, that's another one. The Danans, the Danae, that's another name for the Greeks here. To be, I think it does refer specifically to actual very specific groups of ancient Greeks. But if they are, they're probably lost to history. If you can even call this history. But the Laocoon, who is I think he's a priest of Neptune, he comes running down from the hill, and he says monuit. Warned, I knew it. Well, I didn't know it, but I knew it would be that one. I didn't know that monuits did actually mean warned. And here we've got what I assume is an actual quote, which means that this will actually be more difficult than the words we just read. But let's have a go. O misery, quae tanta insania cives, credicis, avectis et vectos hostis, aut ulla putatis, dona carere dolus, danao, sic notus ulixis, aut hoc inclusi ligno occultanto archivi. Aut haec in nostros fabricata est machina muros, quidquid id est timeo danaos et dono farentis. Here he mentions, he says, have you not heard of well, he doesn't say have you not heard, he says, have you heard of Ulysses? And what does the word notus mean here? Notus. I'm getting nothing. Oh, no, it was. Yes. Have you heard of Ulysses? And then, what does archivi? Does that mean another word for Greeks? the Achaeans, I think. No, maybe. This is a gift, a Ferences gift, which I think it means hostile. Ferences. Carrying. Never mind, I was wrong. Well. Here it says, I fear the Danaos and the gifts they carry. Sic fatus omnibus viribus ingentem hastam in latus equi missit. Sic fatus. We had that word earlier, I've forgotten it again. Fatus. Fool! Sic fatus omnibus viribus ingentem hastam? Spear? In latus equi missit. If full all men ingentum, large spear in the side of the horse he sends. Sic fatus omnibus viribus. Sic fatus omnibus. If all the foolish humans. Seek. Oh, seek does not mean of. No, it means so. Fatus omnibus viribus. So foolish with all his might. Sorry, he was. It wasn't. This was not a guessing thing here. With all his might, he throws his spear into the side of the horse. Said, illa tremens infirmo robore, stetit neque in partum int audiorum ad milites occultos penetravit. I get the second part of this sentence here, where he had put his spear into the wooden horse, but none of the Greeks were hit. But what about this first part? I don't get this. Said, illa tremens infirmo robore. Robore here equals lignum in the part of the wood, I suppose. Stetit? Does this mean hold, remain? Stetit. Stood? Okay. I think, so he puts a spear in it, but he only hits wood, and it trembles in the hard wood, and it doesn't, and not in the interior to where the soldiers are hiding. It did not penetrate that far. And here we have a statue, and you've almost certainly seen this statue before. It's a very famous statue. And this is Laocoon and his sons, who the sons were innocent. But Laocoon here in the middle is attacked here by snakes. And you're about to find out what this statue means. We're going to explain. Laocoon was the one who thrust his spear into the Trojan horse. And so I'm just deciding whether to just say it or read it first. You know, am I spoiling it? I'll read it first. Paulo post animi Trojanum re horrenda turbati sunt. Dum Laocoon ad aram taurum immolat. Subito duos angues ingentis ab insula tenedo per mari tranquillium ad litus natant. Anguis. This does not refer to snakes, I think. Snakes. Okay, it does. I thought there was a different word. Hydra is also another word for snake, or serpens, but here we have anguis, a word for snake. Two snakes come out of the ocean. Cum terram attigescent, capitibus erectus, oculusque ardentibus Troianos parteritus prospiciunt. Attigescent. Tingere. Tingere. Tingere means to die. Attigescent. They would have touched. They touched the ground. Capitibus. Erectus. Capitibus erectus. Oculusque ardentibus. They erect a statue to the fear of the Trojans? Is that what they're saying? Capitibus erectus. With heads held high. I would not have guessed that. Oculusque ardentibus. Troianos parteritus. The terrified Trojans. Okay, I would not have guessed that one. That was a bit difficult. Inde erecta via Laoguntum. I have not seen that declension before. Laoguntem. Petunt. I think that means he runs away or he's scared, petulant. They ask? No, I don't think that's a good translation. Et primum parva duorum filiorum corpora complexi membra eorum tenere edunt. Tum patrum ipsum, qui miseris filio auxilio venibant, corripiant, iam bis corpus eos mediam amplecuntur, bis collo longa corpora sua circumdant. Ille simul manibus se explicare conato, simul clamores horrendos ad caelum tollet. I was getting it up until now here. The snakes have attacked his sons and him. They're very long, they're wrapping all around him. Just like in the statue. But what is this part here, which I've just lost? Ad caelum tollet. Ah, their screams, their horrified screams go up to heaven. Ad anguis in suam arcum ad simulacrum. Oh, we have the word simulacrum here. I don't actually know what this word means. I see it a lot in English. Simulacrum. Image, idol, I see. Ad simulacrum Minervae. Confugiant itque sub clipeo Dei latens. Clipeo. Clipeus, scutum rotundum, a round shield. Under the round shield of Minerva. Minerva does have a round shield, but I want to see what clipeo means. Shield just means shield, but it means a round shield, I believe. Deo latent. Tum vero cunti Traiano novo pavore perturbantur et laucuntum poenes meritas Minervae dedisse. Laucuntum, that's laucun. Poenes merites. Poenes merites. Merites, I think, means either merited or yes, I think this means merited. Poenes, perhaps poenes means wrath. Let's see. Poenes. Punishments, yes. He deserved the punishments that Minerva gave him. Dicunt quod hasta scalarata sacrum robur laseret. Sceleretur. Sceleretur? Sceleretur. Wicked. Wicked. Robur leseret. Leseret, does that mean... No, leseret. It translates to laser. Have I misspelled that? Laser. Laser. Will hurts. Because his spear hurts the wood. Robur laseret. I think that's what that means. Conclamant omnes simulacrum eque. Simulacrum meant image. Simulacrum eque in arcum Minerva ducendum esse. We will take the horse, the gift of Minerva. We will take the horse gift, and we will take it to the altar of Minerva. Ergo parte murorum destructa machina illa hostibus armatis plena magno labore in urbum trahitor funibus dum poeri poelique carmina means song, I think. Carmina secta canunt et funem, don't know what funem means, funem manum contegere gaudent. They have to use machines to destroy parts of their walls just to get the horse into the walls of Troy. In ipso, limine, in the wood, I believe. Porte, or maybe that means something else, limine. On the threshold. Okay. Porte, constit atque penitus ex ventre sonant arma, sed Troiani pergunt et monstrum in felix in arce sacra ponunt. Monstrum in felix. I think in felix means unfortunate. In felix. Unhappy, unfortunate, yes. Constit atque penitus. Penitus means punishment. Ex ventre. Ventre, I know ventre is like Like wind, ventri? Belly. Ah, I see. Ventus means wood, I think. Means wind, I think. Sed Troiani paguns et monstrum in felix in arce sacra panunt. Etiam tunc Cassandra, filia Priam Virgo cui res futures predicenti nemo quem credebant. I believe this lady here, Cassandra, the daughter of Priam, seems to have received a prophecy of the future. Nemo quem credebant, but nobody pays it any credence. I believe that's what that says. Fatum Troiam civibus suis predixit. Fatum means fate, I believe. The fate of Troy, the people of Troy, suis predixit. Nec vero Troiis misere, quibus illidias supremus futurus erat. I can't figure this out. E crediderant, sed velut festo die templa deorum fronde, folia arborum. I think this means grove. Let's go fronde. Foliage, whatever. Exonaverant. Cum iam so occidisset, et nox obscura terram tegerat, Troiani feci somno se dederant, tum equo patifacto, apere patifacto. Does this mean reveal? Patifacto. Reveal, it does mean reveal. Patifacto, milites Graeci, per funem. What is a funem? Rope. Means rope. De missum ad terram lapsi sunt. Lapse means fall. They fall to the ground. Only one of them falls to the ground, and he dies upon hitting the ground. Doesn't say that here, though. Urbis custodibus occisis portes pater fecerunt, et ceteros Graecos qui interim tenero redeerunt in urbum replicerunt. And they kill everyone inside and then go back home, I think. Qui interim, they return to Tenedo, the island, in urbum recuperunt. I think that means kill the rest of them. This is going well. These are really easy sentences for the most part. I'm somewhat curious how the previous book reads to me now. Because I remember reading it long ago and found it very challenging, but perhaps now it will be very easy. I'm curious. Let's have a look. This is the other book. Let's go to Pericula Maris. How do I get rid of the bookmark? There we go. I'm just sort of curious how this reads now. I'm just going to read this for a few sentences. Pericula Maris, the danger of the sea. Intera meris et liria vento secundo per mare in ferum navigare pagunt ad fletum Sicilium, irest fletum angustum, quo Sicilia ab Italia diseguntur, gaudent omnes quae e nave vehentur pleta mercatorum cuis mercis necesse fuit in navis ecere. Medus verumultum cogitat de verbis lirie et de tempestate quae tam subito cassavit postquam liria dominum sum invocavit, ut tempestes mare tranquillium turbavit, ita verba lirie animum mere turbaverunt. Lira amicum suum colorem utraverse anima vertit, et quid palis inquid utrum eglotas antertus non egloto inquid medus scopus quidem sanum est mihi animus vero turbatus. Quis est illi dominus tuis cui mari adventi obedere vidento. Oh, this is a lot. I remember. This was the first bit of this book that I actually saw. Sort of the first bit. I saw the first chapter, and then I thought, oh, well, I can read this. What does it look like 200 pages later? And then I saw this chapter here, and I couldn't read it at all. It was impossibly difficult. Now I can read it. It's actually really quite simple, and it's always fascinating how that stuff goes. The start of this book looks like this, by the way. This is a very popular book. This is Lingua Latina. You can probably find this online. And you've got this this here. This is a very popular one, and I think we're missing a map here. Yeah, we're missing a map. There's supposed to be a map somewhere. Imagine a map of Europe. It's in like it's like a map of Europe, but in like Roman times, and they've got all weird names. Like instead of Europe, it's Europa. Instead of Italy, it's Italia, and instead of Spain, it's Hispania. Good book. So pulls the string here and read this. You can read this. It's actually really easy. But back to our other book. Somnium Aniae. Dum haec agunto. Dum haec agunto. Agunto. There's only one N there. Are being done while this was happening. This is meanwhile. Dum haec agunto. Troiane sine cura dormibant. While this was happening, the Trojans slept without a care. In ease, Aeneas, dux egregus, Anchissa et Venere dea natus. I don't know who Anchises is, but Venere, I believe, is Venus. And he is the child of them. Ecce in somno apparuit mestissimus. Most sorrowful. He gets a dream, I believe. Hector, filius Priami mortus, sed qualis erat. However, this was true, I believe. I think that's what they said. Sed qualis. No, never mind. But what was it like? Quantum mutatus ab illo Hectore qui ex tot proelis victor redierat. Quantum mutatus ab oops, my headphones aren't working. Sed qualis erat quantum mutatus ab illo Hectore qui ex tot proelis victor redierat. Victor redierat. The victor had returned. No, I can't figure that one out. Sordidam, barbam, Crinusque, Crinus, capillus hair. Barbam Crinusque, cruentos. Hold on. One moment. Okay. Where was we? Sordidam, barbam, clinisque, cruentos gerdebat. He got his beard dirty, I think. Et volere illeque plurima circumurus Troiae accaperet. Something around the walls of Troy. Accapere, does it mean accept? Que plurima? Plurima? Multiple? Plural? Maybe. Ille gravitor gemens eniam monuit, ut deus penatis, urbis Troiae, caperet atque ex urbe incensa fugerat. I think that means you've got to get out of Troy. Heu fuge nata dia, teque his, et erepe flammis, hostis habet muros. Vruit auto e comene Troiae. The hostiles have the walls. Something, flames will appear, I believe. Erepe. Heu run. Nate die, I think that means the child of a god. Goddess. Teque his. Then this? Was teque mean a different word? Teque. And you. I don't know. Hic Aeneas clamoribus hominum et strepitu amorum e somno excitatus est. Celeritur in summum tectum ascendit, unde cum mortes domus per tortum urbum flaglantes viderat, hostis dolo in urbum penetravisse intellexit. Arma amens capit, ut in arcum cuderit cum manu militum. He climbs up the onto the roofs of the buildings and wakes the people sleeping, and he sees the hosties having broken in from the high place, the Arkham, I think. Ecce autem Panthus, Apollonis, Sacerdos, extelis Graecorum elapsus. Is this the guy who dies? Amens ad limon accurat sacra mano tenens. Quem cum Aeneas in... Oh no, he's still alive. Interrogavisset, quae fortuna esset patriae. Magno cum gemito hec respondit. Venit summa dies... the font here is a bit hard to read. Ineluctabile tempus. Qui vitari non potest, they will not survive. Non-survivable. Dardaniae, fulmis Troes, fuit illam et ingens gloria tu Croorum. Theros omnia Jupiter Argus transtulit incensa Danae dominata in urbe. I mean, this is a prophecy that you're going to get out of here and go somewhere else, where you will begin dominating the world or something. I think that might be what they'd say, but we're an hour in now and I'm losing the plot. Hoc auditor Aeneas Jovenis audacis, quos pugnandi cupidos videt, paucis verbis hortata ut se ament et strictis gladis in meri hostium alma morituris se praecipiunt. Una salus victis, nullum sperare salutem. Una salus. What is salus? Safety. One safety victory. In victory there is safety. Nullum sperare. Salutum. Nullum. Nothing, no. Sperare, to hope, I think. Salutum. No hope to... No. Do not need... I can't forget the grammar. Nullum. Sperare. Salutum. To hope for now, no salvation. That's a difficult sentence. Talibus verbis ad pugnam in citate Juvenis academi per tela. Per hostis vadunt in mortem haud dubiam. Plurima corpora sternunta per vies et per domus ubique fit luctus et pavor. The fighting takes place in the streets and even in the homes, I think. Priamus. Neque quisquam ne in templis quidem deorum tutus erat, ecce vego Cassandra clinibus passis e templo Minervae ubi ex oile filias, et vim aturaret. Trahibato. Frustra oculos ardentes ad caelum erigens, nam teneres manus vincula tenebant. Troiani hanc specium fere non poterant, et cuncti in merium hostium agmen ruebant. Pugno acris ante templum orter est mortusque Troiani, ab hostibus numerus superbus occissunt. Pauci cum duce ania elapsi, Plotinus ad eris Priam clamore vocatis sunt. Hic vero acerme pugnabato. Graecis undique procurrentibus Troiani inclusi, vi et armis resistebant. Alituris et comina domorum destructibant, atque lateris trabesque, in hostis muros ascendentis concibant. Ali strictis gladis fores defendebant. Aeneas vero, cupidas civibus inclusis auxilium ferendi. Per fores occultis in regiam penetrat, atque defensoribus sese adjungit. Domus interia gemitu ac tumulto misceto, penitusque magna atria ululatu feminarum resonant, cum matris pavide in edis erens infanti suos amplexe, neque vero robo neque vero Janue vic vim Grecorum deotus fere potest. Fractus cardinibus fores concidunt, Greco fere ferocis in atrium penetrant. Primusque trucidunt regia tota hostibus amatis completo. Rex Priamus senex, ut primum fores fractes et hostis in meris edibus vidit. Manibus infirmis arma capit et gladio cingitur atque moriturus in hostis progeditur. Hoc videns hecuba, uxo eos, quae cum filiabus pavidus circum magnum aram sedebet, o miserere me conjunx. Inquid, quare inutuli gladio cingeris, aut quo vadis ita amatus, iam non telis egimus, sed auxilio deorum huc tandem concede, haec ara tuebetur omnis aut morierissimum. Sic locuta maritum senum ad sese decebit, et in ala locavit. Ecce autem polites, unus filiorum Priami, ex caedi vix elapsus, per porticos longes et vacua atria, ad aram fugit Saucius. Ilium Pyrrhus eratus persequitur, iamque manu tenet et hasta percutut tandem polites ante oculos parentum concedit ac morto cum sanguine vitam effundet. Hic preamus, quamquam ipse mortem iam propin quam videt, ira per mortus exclamit, ad pro tale scelere di with a god caelestis premia debitur uledant, tibi qui coram patre filium foede trucida visti. Sic fatus senex infirmus tellum intule coniacet. Never seen those two words before. Quod pyrum ledare non potuit, sed nequam in clepeo hesit, cui pyrrhus nunc morere inquit, senumque trementum et in sanguine fille labentum ad ipsum aram traxit. Sorry, hold on, I wasn't paying attention. Inquit senumque trementum et in sanguine fili labentum ad ipsam aram traxit, ubi leva cum meus prehendens dextra ensum sustulit atque in latere regis defixit. Sic perit preamus, quondum tot gentium atque terrarum rex superbus, cum Troianum patrium ab hostibus captum et incensum videret. How long to the end of the chapter? Quite a while. I may give it up here. I know we only did an hour, but it's sort of getting the rust off took a lot of effort. But I think we've mostly got the rust off. And I'm out of energy. It was quite an exhausting day today, I think. That was good though. We did better than I thought we would once again. I think perhaps the third time we do this, we'll do better further again. But I think I'll call it here. It was only an hour-long stream, but I think it was a bit of fun. And I think the next time we will do Greek, and perhaps we will alternate between Greek and Latin. And so we'll do 1 week we'll do Greek, and 1 week we'll do Latin. And I think that will be a good way. Ideally, you do a lot more than that. But oh, hello, Polybius. You just arrived at the end, I'm afraid. I've exhausted myself. But we did good. We did good. Sorry, I was lurking. Oh, that's good. That's good. You saw some of it then. That was I think I did good. I remember the last time, long ago, when I was doing the lang streams, I would keep fumbling on my words a lot, but I fumbled a lot less this time, so perhaps I'm getting better all the time. You know, I keep saying a lot of, there are some words, like I'll keep saying, like, vis instead of vis, whatever. And I'll say, like, Sicily instead of Sicilia, but it doesn't really matter there. The Romans can't, they can't tell me what to do. They're not here to complain. But depending on how infrequent it feels that these streams are, and maybe, you know, if I cannot manage to get past 2 hours a stream or something, it's particularly tough in Latin, I find, because it's so similar to English. Like, you recognize the words, but then they've got like an extra bit at the end. Like, you see flammarum's not that word, but like audiretor. They're up there, audiretor. We know audio, like an audible, and in English they never really get longer than that. But here in Latin we've got audiretor, and it just throws you off. It throws you off. It's like they've got like a few more. It's a bit more bouncier than you expect. Or here we've got convenimus. You know, in English, like convene, like, or, you know, but it's convenimus, and it just continues. It's got like an extra bit on the end of it, and you don't expect it. You don't expect it. That's what makes it challenging, I find. That the words are they're so dynamic that the word changes in every sentence and how it's spelt and how it's pronounced, that you can't really get used to it. You can't say it without thinking sometimes. You have to you always have to think of the word itself, which you kind of don't do in English. In English, you just sort of say the word and you don't really think about it. Like if someone said convene, or convention, they're not thinking of, con and veni and shun. They're thinking of convention. It's convention. It's always convention. And then you say, oh, I went to a convention. You don't say I was convening. Even though that would be sort of what you were doing, but you just don't say that. You went to a convention, and the word convention is always the word. And maybe if you was really crazy, you would say I was conventioning. As in you were convention-inning. You know what I mean. And you can sort of extend these words forever. Maybe people say, oh, I'm conventioning all the time. And then they make a thing called the conventioning shun, Then it's like, go to the conventioning shun. And then I'm conventioning shun-ing the conventioning shun. Right, and, and you can do this forever. And in fact, I forget the name of it, but there's a place in England somewhere, I think, or Scotland, which its translation is, it's a hill, and it's called the hill, but then it's like the hill, and because they just keep having new words for hill, and they forget what the original word means, and so they need to tell people it's a hill, but the word was called hill in the beginning, but it's an old word for hill, and no one knows what that means anymore, so it's like, oh, this is the hill, and then they forget what that word means, and it becomes like one word again, which is the hill. And they need to let people know that this is a hill, so it's the hill, and I think it's like 7 in a row or something. It all just means hill. I wonder if we can find it actually. What's it called? Place called Hill. Let's see if we can find it. Here we go. I think it's Torpenhow Hill. Let's see if we can find the explanation of it. Will it give me a nice explanation? It's tautological. That's what they call it. It's tautology. What's Torpen? What does Torpen mean? Here we go. I think the word tor means ridge of the hill with a rocky peak. It just means hill. Pen means hill. How means hill, and the word hill. So it's Torpenhow Hill. It's hill. That's what the place is called. And you get this a lot. Not as ridiculous as that all the time, but you do get that kind of thing a lot where we have a word for something and then we forget what it's called. It's just the thing, and you need to remind, well, this is a hill. It's sort of like you go to an ATM machine. You've said automatic teller machine, because people don't know what ATM means. It's ATM. It's an ATM machine. Even though so you've said, and then eventually people might just say ATM machine, and then they don't, and then we have a different word for machine. Maybe we call it device or something, and we forget what the word machine means. So now we say it's the ATM machine device, and then maybe we forget what device means, and we say what's another word for a machine device system. So it's the ATM machine device system. You just go on and on because people, this is, in my opinion, this is why it's worth learning Latin. Maybe Greek as well, because it complements English. You don't really need to read these works in the ancient Greek. It's fun to do so, it's fun, but they've already been very well translated, hundreds of years ago even. It's understanding English and learning its roots, and so maybe you say, instead of saying you've went to a convention, you say I was convening, but well, actually you shouldn't do that. I'd argue that convention's become almost a proper noun. It means a very specific thing. If you go to a pub, that's not really a convention, even though you are convening with people. Con meaning like together, and vene meaning like come, arrive. So you arrive together, you come together, it's a convention. You've convened. And that is what a convention is. There are like one funny example I think of, like, let's say you have a meeting and you postpone the meeting. Post means after, and pone means put. Like so you like it's similar to a word like posit. If I posit an idea, it's posit, pon. It's the same word, just spelled differently. And so you postpone a meeting. You mean put after. You put it after. You postpone the meeting. But then you wonder, well, what's the opposite? The opposite of it, we would say you forward the meeting, but that's not the same. That's not really Latin, is it? What would be the Latin equivalent of the opposite of postpone a meeting? It would be something like antepone or prepone, maybe. Before you put it before, or something, or you adpone it. You forward put it. Adpone. No one uses these words, even though these are arguably grammatically correct. In fact, you might not even be able to find them in the dictionary because no one's ever used them. But if we can use the word postpone, why can't we use the word prepone and adpone and expone and all these sorts of other structures that are basically the same? And you could just make these up, and then no one will know what you're saying, but you'll look so smart and fancy. That is, I think, the benefit of learning Latin, and then you figure out my favorite one. My favorite one is the word procrastination, and I procrastinate all the time. But what does the word mean? It's a long word. What does it mean? Crass is the Latin word for tomorrow. Pro means for, in favour of. And so to do something in favour of tomorrow, and then you add the ination at the end, the English ination, procrastination, it's sort of the act of putting something off in favour of tomorrow. You've procrastinated. Or one that's also very popular is the word of throwing someone out the window, the defenestration. Sounds really fancy, right? Well, the Latin word for window is fenestra. That's what they call windows. They call windows fenestras. And so if you defenestra someone, you defenestrate someone, it means you put them out the window. It still sounds fancy, but it's much more common once you realise that these are just common words to the Romans. The Romans didn't think of these words as fancy. They thought, well, it's a fenestra. There's nothing fancy about a fenestra. There's nothing fancy about procras. It really changes your perspective on English, and it's in a way that doesn't even involve reading the dictionary much or whatever fancy literature. You just got to learn Latin. Anyway, that was a fun little ramble. I won't bother raiding anyone, even if I had viewers. I wouldn't. What do I tell people? I was summoning demons, reading Latin. They'd never get it. They'd never understand. And the reading and writing category is it's kind of rubbish. It's always just sort of people writing stuff on there, like romance novels or something. You don't see reading streams on there. No. There used to be. In fact, I think there still is. There's a category called reading fun. That's what it's called. And I don't know if it refers to a game or something, but it's called reading fun. Why? Why? Yeah, frankly, I never look at the writing and read. Look, first of all, the biggest sin already is it's called writing and reading. Who made this up? No one says writing and reading. It's reading and writing. I can't even say it quickly. I can't even say writing and reading quickly. Writing and reading. It just who did this? It's reading and writing. Reading and writing. You read and write. You don't write and read. I mean, okay, my theory as to why it's called that is that first it was just called the writing category. And that's what it was. It's primarily dedicated to people who are writing, so it was the writing category. But then they wanted to put the readers in there as well, so they thought, well, it's writing and reading. And they never thought about it further. That's my theory. It's terrible. I almost don't want to use it, I know another streamer, Ura Quote, he doesn't use he uses the ASMR category, and I think he does do actual ASMR, but when he's doing his reading streams, it's arguably not ASMR in my opinion. He's just reading. He's just like exactly like I am. He's just reading. But he uses the ASMR character. I guess, there's more people there, I guess, and people they think they're not here for the book and they just want ASMR. So I guess he gets more viewers there. But I don't know. I have the same ickiness to the ASMR category as I do to the Roblox category. I don't really want the audience for it. I don't. I mean, you can come here for your ASMR, but don't start telling me to like tap on the mic and make heartbeat sounds. Not for me. Not for me. I hate what the ASMR category does to my recommendeds, though. What, on YouTube or Twitch? I don't know, but there is a recommended on Twitch. I forget. But it's. I don't know. It's and all the I've heard they've cut down on the sexual ASMR stuff, but I bet it's still like 90% of it. I've got an add-on for Twitch which lets you block tags. It's called like unwanted Twitch or something. And so for various categories, I just have specific tags blocks. Like I can go to the art category, and if you go to the art category, all the top streamers are body painting. So it's just naked women. It's just naked women. So I've blocked the body painting tag, and now I don't see them anymore. It's not perfect. It will only block the preview tag. So you see like 3 preview tags, and they're a bit random. So if body painting doesn't appear in the preview tags, then it still gets through, which is frustrating. But it works 99% of the time. I watched someone reading in the ASMR category, and it makes my sidebar all that. The lecherous stuff, as one way of wording it. Yeah, it's not to my liking, and I don't. The reason I don't go to the Roblox category is because I don't want to attract. There's 2 reasons actually. One, I don't want to attract like 8-year-olds who are just troublemakers. But I hear they actually have a lot of spam bots as well. It's like really common that if you stream in that category, you get lots and lots of spam bots. So I don't dare do it. Hello, Slushy. Welcome. Maybe I really do need to increase my stamina. I sort of. People only show up once I'm near the end. I think that's how it goes. I think in general it's sort of. When I go to a stream, I very rarely tune into a stream when it's just beginning. Like, I don't deliberately do that, but I just naturally tune into a stream and they've been going for an hour and a half or so. I think it's just how sort of the recommended system goes or something. So I really should try to improve my stamina. I don't know, I see streamers, they stream for like 10 hours and I don't know how they do it. I just don't know how they do it. It's so tiring. I just maybe part of it is that it's stressful. I think that's part of it. It's stressful. I'm worried when I'm streaming. I'm nervous. I worry that what if I'm not being entertaining or I'm not what if people are running away and that kind of stuff. So I feel like I'm in a fight or something, so I get exhausted quickly. And I think if I felt more secure, if I felt like oh yeah, this is gonna be easy, then I'd probably have to go for like 6 hours. I bet. I remember, no, it's not a good comparison actually. Yeah. But I think it could also just be practice. I took over a year off, so maybe I just gotta get back into it and maybe a bit of habit as well. If I'm trying to follow a schedule now, so I planned this stream like 5 days ago, and I've done it here on the day. And maybe if I make these consistent, then my sort of the brain will just sort of get used to like, yes, today is this day, and I do this every day, blah blah blah, and it'll just sort of get easier, But that's that. We did good. We did good. We read a bit of Aladdin. And we had some good pronunciation, fairly good understanding of the vocabulary. We've got a lot of the, I think at this point I've really kind of drilled into my head the common words. Like they just sort of, I get them, and sometimes I even forget what they mean, but I get them. So I think that's good. When you get to that point in a language, that's like you've crossed the hill, and then it's just learning vocabulary for the rest of time. But alright, I'll end it here. I think we did get a number of people show up by this point, actually. Let me have a gander. 3 or 4. I'll have a look just in case. But you know, I need to get around to following people again, because I've stopped following. I stopped following everyone, and then now I go to raid someone and there's no one live. Hmm. Nah. We'll just end it. There's nothing here for me. Alright, thanks for watching. I still don't have an outro. I've said this like 7